نعم بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر الأمر واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Thank you so much for joining me again. Good evening, everyone. It's our Friday live again. I'm so excited. Alhamdulillah. We thank Allah who has kept us up to this very moment. We pray that He makes whatever it is that we're going to be listening to today. We pray that He makes it beneficial for us, and I pray that He guides my tongue also. Yes, today we're going to be talking about how to manage your child's behavior to parent peacefully this holiday. Yes, holiday has started or is starting today. I know that there are so many schools that are starting holiday today. And until like maybe the 6th of January before school resumes again, right? So how do we now be in that place whereby we're able to manage our children's behavior so that we have a peaceful holiday, we have a fantastic holiday, right? So before we go on this session, please kindly invite other parents. Let them also come and benefit from this. Share this on your WhatsApp status. Let them know that something is going on here and parents can come and learn so that they have a peaceful holiday, inshallah. Right. So it's holiday season again. And yes, I know that it's very easy for us to delegate our responsibility again to many things, to relatives. You see, this period to camps. Right, yes, IBC is there, the companion is there, different camps like that are there, right? So it's easy for us to delegate our responsibility again to those group of people, to those organizations. I'm not saying it's bad. However, we want to do it with the right of intention, right? So we can even decide that our children are going to go to their relatives, to our relatives to have the break so that you can just rest, so that you can just relax. But then we need to know that why so many of us want to run away from our responsibilities in the name of going to camps there and here, or going to other family members here and there. It is necessary for us to know that the holiday season is the best season to get to know our children better, to bond with our children, to understand them, and to teach them appropriately. You see, all of those places that we take our children to, even if it is a boarding school, all of those places that we take our children to, they are not a training ground. Yes, it can be a training ground one way or the other, but then we need to know that they are not training ground for our children. They are not there to take up the responsibility that we have refused to take. So we need to know that irrespective of what happens, they are still coming back to us. Whatever it is that we did not do is still coming back to haunt us. It's still coming back to bite us. This is why I'm saying that the holiday season is not a time for us to delegate our responsibility. It is not a time for us to say that you want to run away, because you can't even run away. There's nowhere you want to run to. Your children are going to be with you. You have given birth to them, and you should be ready to take full responsibility of nurturing them, of taking care of them. So the problem that we mostly have as parents is that we wait for challenges to come before we start taking steps. And a lot of the time, they are not usually the best of steps, right? So like I always say, we're reactive. We are reactive. As parents, we are reactive. And that's what we learned, right? So we wait until something happens. We wait until our children are misbehaving before we start doing the right things, or before we even take any step at all. Because what happens when your child starts misbehaving before you get to talk is that you are definitely not going to do the right thing. Because you are in that state, maybe you are overwhelmed, you are angry, and you're not calm, you're in a state of chaos, right? And if you're in that state already, you won't be able to give your best, right? So we wait, we are so reactive, we are not proactive enough to see that, okay, yes, this thing is going to come. What do I need to do? What do I need to put in place to avoid it? Or even, when it happens, what do I need to do to know what exactly I'm supposed to do? Or what do I need to start teaching my children so that at least we can avoid something like this in the nearest future? So we are not proactive enough to foresee, likely challenges and start dealing with them before they likely occur. We wait for them to start, then we begin to complain about them. This is something that we do, right? And this is most of the time because we have come to the conclusion, a lot of parents I've come to the conclusion that is it not to raise children? It's not something that needs to be learned, but really is something that needs to be learned, right? So the holiday season is a time for us to review our parenting journey. So there's no break. It's not a break for us. Yes, it's a break for children to go to school, but it is not a break for us. It is a time for us to sit down and review our parenting journey. What is it that has worked in the past 10? What is it that we still need to work on? Right? So you want to look at your parenting goals and strategize on how to make things to get better moving forward. Because if you do not sit down to think about it, if you do not take that time that we see as time of rest to review and re-strategize whatever it is that we're doing, we'll find out that the same mistakes that we corrected our children for, the same thing that we battled with, maybe our children do not understand their routine. Maybe they do not understand that, yes, when I come back from school, I have to do my homework. It's still part of the routine. Maybe they don't understand that you don't speak like this to people and things like that. If you don't sit down to review it and to re-strategize, you'll find out that by the time school resumes again, the same thing that you've been battling with are the things that you are going to be battling with. Right? So a lack of this review will only make us to continue the chaotic and stressful parenting that we have been, that we have been doing in the past. Right? So we need to understand that behavior management is about guiding our children, guiding our child's behavior so that it learns the appropriate way to behave, both at home and outside, in order to achieve a peaceful and stress-free parenting journey this holiday. Right? You see, a lot of the time we assume so much. We feel that shouldn't they know? Shouldn't they know? No, they don't know. And that's why we are there as their guide. So if you do not want to escape from your responsibilities as a parent, if you understand that a camp or a place away from home for your children is a testing ground, it is a testing ground, a test of your own parenting skills, a test of what is left for you to teach your children. You see some children, they will go to camp. And before they come back from that, or when they come back from that camp, they've lost everything that they have or that they had, that they took to camp. They have lost everything. They can't even come back with a full set of clothes or, a set of socks or their set of shoe. That is something that really happens. And that's to tell us that we still have something to do for that child. We still have something to teach that child. That child still needs to learn something. There are several things that happen, but this is something that is very common. You'll find out that whatever it is, your child is even coming back and you're asking, what did you learn in camp? That child can't say anything because there were no goals that were set. Nothing was said before they went. So we need to know that those places, even if you are taking your child to a boarding school, they are not training ground. Your home is the training ground of your child. If there's anything your child goes there and does well or didn't do well, it is a result of your own parenting skill. It is the result of whatever it is that you need to teach to them or things that you know that, okay, yes, this child has gotten well. We can now move forward to something else. So, what do you now start to do? What are those things that you start to do? How do you begin to manage your child's misbehavior in order for you to parent peacefully, especially now that your children are with you? Or let me say, especially now that maybe you have decided that your children are going to be with you this holiday and they are not going for any camp, right? The first thing you need to understand is that you need to know that your child's brain is still developing. That's something that that I always talk about, right? Begin by understanding what or who your child is. Understand first that your child is not an adult. Who is going to help us write that in the comment section? Your child is not an adult. You see, you need to understand that your child's brain is still developing. And the human brain isn't fully developed until they're about 25 years. So which means that if you as a parent, if you are listening to me right now, if you are below 25 years, even your own brain is not completely developed, let alone your child. Yes, that's just the truth. So by the time you understand that, okay, yes, my brain is, even my own brain as someone who is under 25 is still developing, then you'll be able to understand better that your child's brain is still developing. Your brain is not fully developed. So you can imagine the level of brain development that your child has. If you are still, if you are still in that place whereby your own brain is still developing. So when you understand that, you will not see children's misbehavior or whatever behavior that they show. You will not see it as them trying to attack you. You will not see it. You will just see it as, okay, this is something that the child still needs to learn. And you will be in that place where you offer that guidance for them to learn it. Right? So you need to understand that your child's brain is still developing. The moment you understand this, you'll be able to see it, to see your child's behavior or misbehavior from a different perspective other than how you've been seeing it. So don't expect to talk to your kids and don't expect that they will respond to you like an adult would. They won't. You need to be in that place whereby you think about your expectations again, right? So don't think that once you say something, your child is going to, your child is just going to respond to you like an adult is responding to you. No, it's not possible. The moment you start expecting that, that means you have an expectation that is not even possible, right? So it's not as if it is difficult. It is not just possible. It's not just possible for your child to respond to you like an adult, right? So you are the grown-up and they are the child. Accept that you are the grown-up and they are the child. You see, there are a lot of things that we think, is this how it is? Is this how it is difficult? It's just because of how, the things that we have been exposed to. Yes, your children's brain is still developing. Thank you, Sister Miriam. Right? So you need to understand that your children are not going to respond to you like an adult is going to respond to you. So don't expect it. It's not as if it's difficult. It's not even possible for them to respond to you like an adult. So you need to understand that. Understanding that will help you to see, different things that they display as maybe it's a lack of knowledge or a lack of skill. A lack of knowledge or a lack of skill, right? Or a quest for something. Maybe they need something. They need to get something. So you being the adult will be the one to be in that place whereby you teach them how to manage their emotions. You teach them how to respond to people. You teach them how to talk to people and so on like that. Because they are not born with all of those things. They are not born with it. Like we'll say that children are not giving to you damage. They are not born with a lot of things that we expect from them also. So your child wasn't giving birth to deciding, not to cooperate. Don't ever think, like I always say, don't ever think that your child is just stepping on your toes. Your child just wants to make you angry. Your child is just being in that place whereby they are doing whatever it is that they are doing. They are doing it purposely. If you have that intention, then you won't be able to look at your child's, behavior or misbehavior from a different light, right? So that child was not giving birth to deciding not to cooperate. They weren't giving birth to deciding not to listen or even deciding to misbehave. It is us as parents that have created an environment that causes the child not to listen. You see, a lot of the time parents complain, this child does not listen. This child does not cooperate. This child, and things like that. But you need to know that parenting is about you. It's not about your child. If there is anything that your child is displaying or your child is not displaying, you are giving your child the permission to do the things that they do. And I'll explain further. Right? We are the ones teaching them how to, how they eventually behave. We are the one teaching them, just like people will say that tabula rasa, our children were given to us like clean slate. It is we that now puts the things that whatever it is that we see in them, that is manifesting in them, it is we that actually put it in them. That's just the truth. We might not be the one who did it as the primary caregiver, but there's somewhere else, or there are some other people that they are learning from. So it is a thing of choice. It is a thing of choice. When you teach them that, okay, when you teach them, when you are in that place whereby you are reacting, you are shouting. Yes, you're not telling them to shout, but you are giving them the permission to shout. If you have been disrespectful to them, maybe from your words or from your deeds, you are also giving them the permission to be disrespectful to you and every other person. If you are giving them the permission to, to do good or to do bad, if you are doing good or you are doing bad to them, you are giving them the permission to do all of those things. Right? So what you teach to them or what you show to them is what actually takes, it's what manifests in them. Whatever it is that you do or didn't do, it's just like giving them express permission to do the same. When you lie, you give your child the permission to lie. When you say the truth, you give your child the permission to say the truth. When you make mistake and you accept that you made mistake, you are giving your children the permission to also make mistake and accept it. When you make mistake and you are pushing it to them that you did it, it is because of you. You are giving your children the permission to do the same thing. So it is a give and take thing. It is what you give to them. That is what they will give back to you. If you hit them because they have done something wrong, you are giving them the permission to hit you when they feel that you do something wrong to them. When you don't allow them to have their way, they will also hit you. So whatever it is that they are manifesting, whatever it is that they are showing, you are giving them the permission. So the moment you start to know this, I was looking through the parents that registered for the LLP community, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad because I can see that we have parents of very young children, and that's very fantastic. If you have not, because there are so many things that you would not know, you just continue doing it. You just continue doing it. And at the end of the day, when you now start seeing the effect of all of those things, it haunts you. You start to complain, not knowing that you have been the one that have given them the permission to express or to do whatever it is that you can now see. So when you hit them, you also give them the permission to hit people, to hit you inclusive, right? You give that, it's not express, but you give them that permission also. If you yell at your child, you give your child the permission to yell. You see, a lot of the time, parents come with things like, you stop eating your siblings, stop eating your siblings. But if you look at it, maybe a child has a younger brother or a younger sister. You see that when things are not going on well, it's not going right between them, they also beat, they also hit. Why is that? Because that is what they have learned. That is what they have learned. That is the permission that they have gotten from you. Right? So they are learning directly from you. Every single child learns from their biggest role model, which is you. You are their biggest role model. So if you have children that are very young, and you are listening to me right now, that's awesome. That's fantastic, because you start doing the right thing from onset. And like I usually say, that when parents say things like they don't need parenting, my child is still 1 year, my child is just 2 years, I just look at it like this, that the moment you get it wrong, there's going to be a ripple effect, except you now start doing it right again. And that's why, TMPC, I tried as much as possible to open it up for so many people. Even I have so many students, those that are still in school, that are already registered for TMPC. I allow it, single people, those who are still, begging Allah for children, let them come and listen to all of those things so that they don't get it wrong from onset. Because the moment they get it wrong, from onset, what now happens is that when they begin to know the right things to do, it's now damage control that they are going to be doing, which is more difficult. It's just like a case of prevention is better than cure. That's exactly what it is. It is better for you to prevent those things than to start curing it, because curing it is not easy. And some of my mentors will say that cure is not even something that is certain, depending on the ages of your children. So you want to understand, first of all, I'm starting with this because of those who have very young children, those who have toddlers. You need to understand that whatever it is that your child does or didn't do, you are giving them the permission to do it. It's not easy. It's not easy. The easiest thing to do is to shout, is to beat, is to spank. Yes, those are the easy things to do. But doing the work is not actually easy. But when you do the work, you get the results. You will definitely get the results. Right. Number 2 is that you need to think about how you were parented. Right. Like I was, like the conversation that we were having just now before the session started, where a particular sister shared that she's in that place whereby she does some things. Yes, she knows that it is wrong, but she does it. Then at the end of the day, she now starts thinking, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. That's very normal. And that's because of what we have inherited. That's because of how we were parented. We have gotten those things. So you can imagine something you've gotten for 20, 30 years of your life. It's not something you can just undo. It is not something you can just undo in 1 month, in 2 months, not even in a year. Because there are times, because it's like a blueprint. That is the blueprint that was given to you. So you want to think about how you were parented that is now manifesting in the way you parent your children. Because parenting patterns are reflective. It is whatever it is that you got, that's what you're also going to give, except you're intentional about taking those things away. Except you now come to that place of awareness that, okay, yes, this thing was something that was done for me, and that's why I'm doing this. So it's not something that will just, despite the fact that you have the knowledge, you know that, yes, this thing, it will come to you because it's a blueprint. It has been there for a very long time. You cannot just do away with it just like that, right? So you want to think about how you were parented, what you liked about it, and what you were not really happy with. You see, a lot of the time, we want to hide under the fact that they did it to us and we turned out okay. Yes, we say that thing. We say, we use that phrase a lot. They did it to us. Look at us today. We are here today. But the question we want to ask ourselves is, did we really turn out okay? And that's why it is necessary for us to reflect, to think about it. Yes, it is irresponsibility that will make us to make that statement, because we know quite all right that when those things were being done to us, we didn't like it. It didn't make us happy. It made us very sad. It made us really sad. So what you liked about it and what you were not really happy about, think about when you were yelled at as a child. Think about it. So you want to give yourself some time to think about it. When I was yelled at as a child, what happened? You will notice that you were just afraid. The fear is going to be there. So think about when you were hit as a child, when you were beaten as a child. That didn't make you feel good. Like there's a particular writer who said that we don't know where we got that mentality, that before we make a child, behave well, we have to first of all make them feel bad, make them feel sad. Where did we get that mentality from? That before you actually make a child to behave well, you need to make them feel bad. You need to hurt them. You need to hit them. So think about it. How did it make you feel? And if you sit down and you have a deep thought about it, I'm very certain that it made you afraid. You had that fear. It made you sad. It made you worried. It made you depressed. It brought lots of emotions to you. Lots of emotions that you couldn't even express because you were not taught to express them. You were taught to silence them. Do you think those things will just go like that? No. It has a way of storing in our body, and it's eventually going to manifest. And it's going to mostly manifest when we start having our own children too, especially when we see them as getting the things that we couldn't get when we were young. So how did it make you feel? You want to sit down and think about it. So you cooperated with your children, with your parents back then, not because you wanted to cooperate, but because you were afraid, because you were scared. So it was not a case of you wanting to cooperate, no. So what we need to do for you as parents is that we need to encourage you to be encouraging to your child. Yes, it's not easy, but it is doable. It just takes us that intentionality. It just takes us that mindset of, no, this thing was done to me. I didn't like it. I don't want it to go on. Then trying as much as possible to do the work. So when you're in that place, if we are encouraging you and you're in that place where you are able to encourage us so that your child, will be able to cooperate with you. Your child will listen because they want to listen, not because they are afraid of you. You see, a lot of the time, it looks like we're saying the same thing every time because all of these things boil down to, that one thing. It boils down to it. So you want to be in that place whereby your children are listening, not because they are afraid of whatever it is that you will do or you will not do for them, but they are listening because they want to listen. I don't know if there's anybody that knows. My children are currently not with me, but our connection is not from this place, right? So I was speaking with him, with my first son who is 8 years. I was speaking with him yesterday, and I was inspecting their wardrobe. They would just show me around, and I was inspecting their wardrobe, and I said that, look at your wardrobe is so, it's so tidy. Before, when we were together, every weekend like that, we go back and fold, and that's what we've been doing every Saturday or Sunday. But they have not been able to continue with it because I've not been able, I've not been there to be consistent with whatever it is that they've been doing. So I was speaking with him. I said, look at this wardrobe is so tidy. You've not been folding it like we used to do. Then at the time he was telling me, I don't even know what to wear, mommy. I can't see my trousers. I said, I think that's because you didn't fold your clothes well. If they were well folded, your trousers would be in a place and you'll be able to see them very well instead of, scattering the wardrobe to find it. And he said, yes, that's true, mommy. That's exactly it. If it was folded like you used to do it back then with us, then I would have been able to see what I have and what I don't have. So he was able to reason with me, not because I controlled, not because I shouted, and you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And what did they do? This morning when we spoke, it was when I asked, were you able to do it? And he said, yes, I've folded it. And he was even showing me. So what we are just doing is that we want to be in that place whereby we have the ears of our children. Our children are listening to us, not because they are afraid of us, but because they want to listen to us. So if you're in that place whereby your children are not cooperating with you, you need to check yourself. What exactly am I not doing? What exactly am I not doing? What do I need to do? And as we move forward, we'll talk more about the things that we need to put in place for our children to actually be in that place whereby they listen to us, right? So one of the things that we always complain is that, children bully each other. Children, this is something that we get so much. We get it from primary schools, we get from nursery, we get from secondary schools. There was a time that it was very, very rampant. However, we need to know that they learned that from the home first. That's just the truth. They learned it. I remember the case of a child who died in the process or something. I can't really remember the story again, but I know that something like that happened, I think last year or early this year, right? It was a boarding school and a particular child was beaten by a senior. I think it was in the north, right? We need to know that all of those things, those children are just, they are just a result of whatever it is that they have seen at home. They are just, the word is not coming to me right now. Right? They are just victims. Let me put it that way. That's it. They are just victims of whatever it is that they have experienced, whatever it is that they have learned. So we always want to know that being violence is not something that is working. It is not working. And you cannot use it to manage your child's behavior. You can't. So if you have it, eliminate it. Because if you do not eliminate it, you won't be able to replace it with the things that actually work and be ready to do the work. So we need to understand that they learn all of those things. They learned it from home. If you are bullying your child or you are abusing that child, you're also giving that child the permission to do the same. That's just it. Just like we said before, whatever it is that your child is exhibiting, you want to introspect. For me, this is something that I do so much. I don't go on blaming my children. I point back to myself and say, yes, it is you. Just like what happened, yesterday, and we sorted out. I know that, yes, my unavailability is what is causing this. So I didn't push it to my children and say that you should do this. No, I know that I was supposed to be there to guide them. But as Allah we have it, it's still the way that it is. So you need to come back to that place where you introspect that what is it that I need to say, or what is it that I need to do for these children to get what I'm trying to pass to them. Right. The third thing that we need to put in place, we're going to talk about the practical things. These are just, the things that we do around the house when it comes to communicating, when it comes to dealing with our children. The third thing is that you need to start with the good that your children do. We were raised with understanding or knowing that we should not point out the good things that somebody or a child does. That's how we were raised. And that's how you hear people say something like, Emma Sofori, Mama Wu. We've heard things like that. Emma Sofori, Mama Wu. Because we don't just want to acknowledge that a child has done something right. So we feel that when we say it, that child is going to change into something bad, or that child is going to do something bad. But let me break that. It is not like that. We often focus so much on the not so good things that our children do. For example, your children have been playing, right? Maybe you have two of them and they've been playing very nicely, and you've been doing something that you've been doing and you're not saying anything. But the moment you hear them, they start shouting or they start fighting, or say, hey, don't fight. What happened when you've been hearing that they've been playing so much, they've been playing well without rift? What happened? So you want to be in that place whereby you intentionally acknowledge the good that they do. When you see that they are playing so well, you tell them, oh my God, I love the fact that you are playing so well together. That's amazing. Keep it up, guys. Because children want attention. And the moment they can't get that attention, they will seek it, positive or negative. Do you know that children prefer to get negative attention than no attention at all? Do you understand that? Children love that you shout at them, you yell at them, than you abandon them and you're not saying anything to them. Yes, that's not good for them, but then they prefer to get negative attention than not to get any attention at all. If you don't know that now. So whatever it is, no matter how tiny it is, no matter how small it is, I was still speaking with my children because I know they were going to get their results today. And I was still speaking with them, I've gotten report from your dad that you've been amazing, you've been awesome, you prepared so well for school early in the morning, you do this, you do that. Because of that, you are getting this. I'm not saying that we should use material things to always give to them, but acknowledge it. Acknowledge it and let them know that you can see it. When they see that, do you know what that brain is telling them? Their brain is telling them that mommy loves that we did this and it made her happy or he made dad happy. Let's continue to do it. But if the only thing you do is talk about the not so good things that they do, you are losing them. So you need to be in that place whereby you always find opportunity to acknowledge the good that they did or the good that they are doing and, applaud it. Make a big deal out of it. Children love it. Make a very big deal out of it. Your children they have taken the initiative to do their chores without you even reminding them. You want to say something like, oh my God, that's so amazing. You did this, you did this. You will see the next time they will do it and they will even do it better than they did it before because that made you happy. But the moment you just come and look at, you wash plate, you did not arrange it, you did this, you are pointing to the not so good things that they did, and they are going to be definitely demoralized. I like to tell people, just if you can have empathy, if you can put yourself in other people's shoes, you will understand how to deal with children because they are also human beings. The fact that they are younger does not make them less of a human. So if you can be in that place where you commend them, you commend the good behavior until the last hour, you will see how they are going to try as much as possible to put in efforts to reinforce whatever it is that you have praised them for. So let's not have that mindset that when you tell them or when you point out the good, do you know that it is even a lack of self-esteem that makes us to do something like that? I will not go deep into that. But we need to know that when our children do good things, let us acknowledge it. Let's not just talk when they do the not so good things. Let us acknowledge that they have done something amazing and, let us make a big deal out of it, right? So the truth is that children want to ultimately please their parents. That's just the truth. It might not look like that to us because we feel that they're always stepping on our toes. They're always looking for a way for us to yell, for us to shout, and that's not true. Children were not given birth to with that, with that mentality or with that mindset. That's it. They are always in that place whereby ultimately they want to please us as their parents. Even if that's not what it seems like, because it's not going to seem like, because we feel that they do this, but just like we started with from the beginning, that their brain is not developed enough to completely know the right from the wrong. So don't see it as them trying to come after you or something, right? However, start noticing the good that your children do and don't be a hunter of only the things that they do wrongly. Do you know that we even set traps for our children? Maybe our older children. We set traps for them. When we are supposed to tell them exactly what they are supposed to do, we don't tell them. And we say something like, let me just get back home and that child has not done that thing. Let me just do this and that child will see what I'm going to do. And things like that. Then what happens? We now start shouting, we start yelling, we start beating. We are not hunters, and our children they are not domestic animals. They are not animals that we will set traps for. They are not rats. So stop setting traps for your children to do the wrong thing before you now start shouting, before you now start talking, hey, you did it this way, you did it this way, right? So anything at all. It could be that they are helping you. Maybe they are playing nicely together. Maybe they have done their chores without being reminded. Maybe they have anything at all. Always find the positive. Always find the positive. So the holiday is going to be a time whereby your children are going to spend lots of time with you. Always find the positive and try as much as possible to acknowledge it, right? They have done their homework without being asked to do it. They have done the day's activities before they being asked to do it. Acknowledge it and, make a big deal out of it, right? Talk to them about it. Tell them how you love how they have done it and how you really appreciate them, right? So stop whatever it is that you are doing to acknowledge it. This is something that is very important. Notice this. So, thank them also. If it is something that they have done well, thank them. I really appreciate the fact that you have done this and things like that. All this still boils down to the fact that you need to give them attention when they are being good. If the only time that you give them attention is when they do something bad, they will keep being bad to keep getting that attention. We said before that, negative attention to children is better than no attention at all. Because this is something that they crave. They always want to be in that place whereby they want to know that, yes, mom and dad is pleased with me. So they prefer that you give them that attention than you're not giving them attention at all. But if you do otherwise, they will sense that okay, yes, this is what makes mom or dad happy. Let us intensify effort in doing, all of this thing. So you need to notice the positive, right? The fourth one is that you need to recognize and validate all their emotions. This is not something that is easy. I've gotten lots and lots of DMs of, my child always cry for the littlest thing. My child is 5, she always cry for this. My child is this, she always cries for this. But we need to know that whatever it is that our children are crying for, it is valid. It is valid. It is valid. Who was at MS 8.0? Just like your truth is valid, their own truth is also valid. Their truth is also valid. This is something that we need to know. You see, the feelings that you get, the feeling of sadness, the feeling of anxiety that you get when your children, when you lose your car key, let me give it, let me use that as an example. That's the same thing your child feels when they lose the tiniest of their dinosaur. The tiniest of their dinosaur, when they lose it, the way you feel when you lose your car keys or when you lose something that is precious to you, your gold, that is the same thing that they feel. So you don't want to be in that place whereby you say, you better keep quiet there or I'll give you something to cry about. This is something that is very common because our child's cry often to us means that they are crying for nothing and you want to give them reasons to cry. But when we understand this, it's so easy for us to deal with our children. Yes, of course, I also sometimes be in that shoes whereby you be like, this child is just being, but then it is what it is. Acknowledge whatever it is that they feel because their feeling is valid. Yes, your parenting truth is valid. Thank you, Sister Mariam. Yes, it's valid. Just like your own, whatever truth that you have is valid. Your parenting truth is valid. Your child is crying. Your child could just be, a very emotional child. That's it for my first child. They want to cry over the littlest of things. Yes, it's valid. It's okay. Right. So, when a child cries, he or she already has a reason for crying, right? You don't tell them to stop crying. And that if they don't stop, you give them a reason to cry about. When a child cries, they are already feeling sad. They are feeling disappointed. They are feeling anxious. They have a lot of feelings that they don't even have a name for. As an adult, you will now be the one to say that, okay, yes, I can see that you feel sad. I can see that you feel disappointed. Your job is to make them understand why they can't get what they want. And that's where, tantrums comes in. I said I was going to talk about this, right? When I get there, I'll talk about it. But then you need to know as a parent that your job is to make them understand why they can't get what they want at the moment. You see, the only problem that I have with people is not allowing children to express that feeling. Your child is crying. Let the child cry now. I'm not saying that you are making it happen because of that intention of until back when you before me hospital. That's not it. Not even for very, very young children, not babies. No, not that. But children who are already saying something, who are saying what they want a toy. You have gone to a toy store, you have gone somewhere, you already bought what you can afford, and your child is crying for something else. And you can't afford it. You can't possibly buy it. Let them know that, yes, it's okay to cry if you want to cry, but then you can't always get what you want. You see, that is one life lesson that you are teaching to that child. But the moment you allow your child to manipulate you, you will continually see that cry. I'll give you an example. Your child has cried for a particular, maybe for a toy or something in a store, like I said, right? And because you don't want that child to cry, you quickly buy it. Oh yeah, take, and keep quiet. Your child has learned. Your child has learned that I can actually use my cry to manipulate my mom to get whatever it is that I want from her. That's exactly what that child has learned. And you will see most of that tantrum. I wrote it in my ebook, and Taming Toddler's Tantrum. If you are here and you've not read that book, just message me after this session. It's free, and I'm going to give it to you free of charge, so that you can read it and you understand Toddler's Tantrum, because this is a question that I've gotten a lot of time, this week. So I decided to talk about it. So that child has learned that, okay, yes, I can manipulate. So what happens? The following day, your child is crying for a candy just right before bed or right before dinner. And yes, you've said, no, you won't get it. What happens again? That child will cry, because that child has learned that the moment I cry, my mother does not want to hear me cry. So she is going to give in. So that child is going to cry. And of course, maybe you will give in again. But if you are able to do this the first time, it cries and you are standing your ground. There's boundary and there's limit. You are able to stand your ground and no, you're not getting this. Yes, it's okay to cry. But then you're in that place whereby you speak with them about it. They can hear you and they can understand you. Right? Yes, I know that you are so disappointed because you couldn't get this. But then you can't always get what you want. And this is why you can't get this at this particular time. Right? So there's something that is said that one of the muscles to help children exercise is their disappointment muscle. One of the muscles to help children exercise is their disappointment level. Help them to understand that disappointment is not the end of the world. The fact that you are not getting this, it is not the end of the world. It's merely something that happens in life. And it's very, very normal. So you're just in that place where you're saying, welcome to life, where something doesn't always go the way you want it. Your child is learning resilience. Your child is learning so many things. Your child is learning to be patient, to get whatever it is that they want to get. Right? So you need to let them know from the beginning that the world will not always throw you things that will just say, oh my God. There are times that sometimes you even work for it, you will not get it. Ask entrepreneurs now, they will tell you. There are times that you won't get it. So you are helping your child to strengthen that muscle. That is not every time that you get whatever it is that you want. Right? And this is something that is important to teach to your children very early, especially that time when they are throwing tantrum. Let them understand that's just boundary. Don't confuse your children. Don't confuse the boundary that you say today you are giving in, tomorrow you are not giving in, next tomorrow you give in. You are confusing your children. They don't even know what exactly to expect and not to expect. So this is something we need to think about. Right? So teach them early so that when they become adults, they understand it. They don't turn to negative vices to deal with disappointments. We have so many people that turn to negative, even adults. And that's why you see somebody has lost his job, a grown-up man has lost his job, and the next thing he wants to do is go to a beer parlor to drink it out, that has not been able to deal with whatever disappointment that he has gotten. That's where you see people, there's these contracts that they've been pursuing and they lost it and they can't pick their lives together to say, yes, it is what it is. We're going to move on. It's the same thing. So think about it as even adults. This is something that really affects us. So let your children learn it from a very, very early age, right? So you need to be in that place where don't allow your children to use tantrum to manipulate you. Don't allow them, because the moment you allow it, you're going to deal with it for a very long time, right? And the last one for this side is, handling disappointment with calm. I've, spoken about this. So I just, wrote here that irrespective of the age of your children, clarity of what to do comes to you in calmness. What am I trying to explain here? Why did I say that you should handle disappointment with calm? You see, lots of the time when things happen, we act like the world is crumbling. We act like everything is going against us. And we also throw adult tantrum. So our children are throwing tantrum. We're also stand up there. We're raising our voice and we're there. But we need to know that the moment we are like that, just like we said from the beginning, that whatever it is that your children are showing, you have given them the permission to do that. So the moment your child is throwing tantrum and you are throwing tantrum, you are giving your children more reason and more permission to throw tantrums. So you need to know that Clarity will only come to you, not in chaos, but in calmness. That's where clarity will come to you. So you're shouting, your child is shouting, you're shouting, you do not even know what to do. But you need to be calm and approach whatever it is, whatever difficulty that you're having with your children. You need to be calm. And that's why emotional intelligence is not something you can joke with. You need to know that on your journey, if you don't have emotional intelligence, you won't be able to go far with intentionally raising your children, because you're always going to be scattered. You're always going to be everywhere. This is something that you need to know. You won't be able to teach your kids how to undo theirs if you are unable to undo yours, right? So if you think about it, all of these things, we might see that this thing is not easy. But like I said, everything that we have gone through during our own childhood, it doesn't just leave us. If you were yelled at as a child, there's every possibility that you will second guess yourself as an adult. We have so many adults that second guess themselves. You know, they say things like, no, it's not something I can do. I don't want to do it. We have so many adults that have brilliant ideas, but they keep second guessing themselves. That's a result of being yelled at as a child, right? You never think that you are good enough. That's another thing. So if you're in that place whereby that's the only thing that you do, that's the best thing you know how to do, that's your best parenting tool, yelling, it's going to show later in life in the lives of our children. So we want to think about it well. You often always think that you are stupid, that you are dumb, because that's what you've heard, or that's where you've been all your life. So these are the things that will play out when you actually become an adult. You have a very low self-confidence. So if a child is in that place whereby the only thing they hear is you can't do this, you can't do this, you're dumb, you're this, you're that, all of those things are not going away, because they are hearing it from the best people in their lives, from their role models, from their influence, which is you. So you want to pick your words wisely, and you want to pick your actions. You want to pick them with calmness. So what are the practical ways to manage your children's behavior this holiday? We've spoken so much about routines and all of those things, so we're not going to go into that, this time. First of all, you need to start setting boundaries and limits. Right? Start setting boundaries and limits with integrity and your core values. You see, there's so much that needs to be learned in raising our children, really. There's so much that needs to be learned, that needs to be unlearned, that needs to be relearned. A lot of the time, we practice double standard. And those things comes back to haunt us, especially when our children turn teenagers. If you are preaching something and you're not practicing it for your children, just give them time. Give them time. They will give you reasons why they don't have to do that thing. Because what we have done is raising them on hypocrisy. You have told your child that reading book, for example, is something that is very important, but your child has never seen you read book. Make it make sense. Make it make sense to them. So you need to set boundary and limits with integrity. You have to be sincere. If there's something you're preaching to your child that this thing is important, how are you living it in your own life? You see, I learned something recently that if you're in that place, you'll be in that place whereby you will get respect. You command respect, not demand respect. Because if you pick your life together as a mother or as a father, as a parent, you will see that your children are also going to follow through. But if your life is scattered, today you don't even know what you're doing. You started something today, you can't even continue with it. You're not consistent with your salah. You're not this, you're not that. Your children are also following that footprint. And that's exactly what it is. They are following that footprint in whatever it is that you do. I'm going to be talking so much about this, during TMPC. So please, if you have not invited somebody for TMPC, why now? Tell me why. It is free of charge. Mark Zuckerberg will not even charge you for reposting. So please, I'm begging, I'm not doing any shakara. Please, and please help us to share this. Let us reach more parents. Let us bring all of these things to their awareness. Because this is something we need to know. Our children are definitely going to be with the children of these people that we have not invited. So why have we not invited them? Is it that we don't want to associate ourselves with LLP? We don't want people to know that we are reposting for LLP. So please, I'm begging you. I am begging. Please, let's repost. Let's invite parents. Let us tell them why it is important for them to be here. It is free of charge. It is free of charge. And we have a capacity of more than 200,000 parents. That's the truth, because we're using Telegram, and Telegram does not have a minimum of people that can join. The maximum of people that can join. So please invite people for TMPC. Tamariam is going to help us to share the flyer again here so that we can forward it on our WhatsApp, statuses. Thank you so much. Right. So like I was saying, set boundaries and limits with integrity and you're covered. Don't have double standard. Let me give you an example of double standard. When couples are having misunderstanding and one hits the other, we say that it is domestic violence. It is this, it is that. But when we are in that place whereby we're hitting our children, it is discipline. It's double standard. It's not true. It's something that we know. That's setting double standard. So when mommy picks meat from the pot, when it is not time to eat, she picks it and she eats it. That one is normal. But when our children do the same thing, it is stiffing, it is stealing. No, now think about it. Think about it. Just like we said, once you do something, you're giving your children the permission to do the same thing. So you want to sit down to think about it. The second thing that you need to do is that you need to continue to teach manners via positive interaction and not negative ones so that they don't become mean and vicious. So a lot of the time we complain that I told you this thing yesterday. I taught you this day before yesterday. We need to continue to teach. We will continue to teach it. That's just the truth. If you have used your mouth today, go the extra mile of playing a video for them tomorrow to watch why they can be nice, why they need to be kind, why they need to do this, why they need to do that. If that's next month, tell them the story of a Swabiya or a Sahaba that got something just because they were able to do something. Because they had a good character, because they were able to do things, because they read. Use story. If you have used story today and you're still not getting the results, there will definitely be something you can do to teach your children until they learn the lesson. You don't necessarily have to wait until they make a mistake before you now start shouting. That's, teaching them in a negative way. Right, so this is something. Thank you so much, Sister Mariam. So it has been shared. Please share it with other parents and let them also kind of, benefit from this. Share it to them on Telegram. Also share it to them on WhatsApp. Let them come and learn. Right. So continue to teach manners. We have positive interaction and not negative ones, so that they do not become mean. Because if you are not doing it in a positive way, whatever it is that you do to them, you are giving them the permission to also do the same thing. Right. Don't stop communicating with your children positively. Don't stop. Every day, try as much as possible to take 10-15 minutes of your time. Talk to them. Play with them. There are so many things that you can teach your children through play. Play with them. Teach them. Don't get tired of teaching them. I was listening to a particular, an Arab scholar who was talking that don't always, you taught your child this thing today. And maybe, for example, you told them when you finish it and pack your plates. Pack your plate, you told them today. Tomorrow, you have seen that they have done it again. They have not packed. Don't conclude that these children are just stubborn. They don't just want to listen. Give them excuses. You see, there are so many things that all of these things are rooted in the hadith of the Rasul. All of these things are rooted in the teachings of the Rasul. But we don't want to take it because we just want to cut corners and just take the easiest and fastest way, which does not give us results. Give your children excuses. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they wanted to do the assignment. Give them excuses and call them again. I told you yesterday, always pack your plates. Always pack your plates. If you feel that this is something that you've continued to do, you can add a consequence to it. You see, that one is, consequences is not done because you don't like them or because you hate them. It's just for you to be able to have healthy, boundaries with them, to have healthy. You tell them, whoever is supposed to pack the plates that doesn't pack it will be the one to wash plates for 1 week or for 2 days. Let's not be mean. Maybe for 2 days, maybe for 3 days. Yes, with that, they will understand. So you're telling your child, leave that place, because this is something we do a lot. And we come and say that our children do not listen. Leave that place, and your child is not answering. Then we say something like, if I don't yell, they won't listen, because you have helped them to learn that it is when you yell, that is when you are serious. So you leave that, stand up and take that child away from there. Take that child away from there. Don't hurt yourself. Be here. Yes, they will cry, but it's okay. It is part of setting boundaries because their safety is also something that is very important, right? Create a cooperative environment in your home where you are willing to listen to your child, where you are willing to talk to your child, where you are willing to listen to their ideas. Don't just treat them like they're just bunch of effort that is dying. No. Ask them, what do you think we should do? They feel that there's that sense of belonging. There's that sense of, confidence that is also in them when you ask them about very important things. Okay, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should eat? I didn't know that spaghetti are finished, and that's what we're supposed to eat this evening. What do you think we can eat? Talk to them, communicate with them, make parenting fun. There's already enough stress that we're going through. Make parenting fun. Create time that you smile with your children, that you will laugh with your children, that you will run around with them, that you play with them. This is something that for me, yes, I miss it so much. Try as much as possible. It is not, your children are not, they are not the burden, they are not the problem, they are not the economy. They are not the one causing. So one of those things that will make parenting really enjoyable for you is that you create that moment of joy, that laughter, and they're also able to enjoy it. We've heard so many hadith of the Rasul. We're not just taking all of these things. We've heard about how Hassan and Hussein will climb on him when he's praying, and he's not angry, he's not fighting them, he's not yelling at them. This is who our role model is. Look, if we want to emulate him, let us emulate him to the very end. May Allah make it easy for us, right? So do fun things together. Like I said, let your journey be fun. Let your journey be fun. A place where you smile, where you laugh. Don't create an environment of violence, anger, or even sadness. You don't need it on your journey. So don't create an environment of violence whereby any little thing you're angry. Like someone will say, because it's just us bleeding on children who didn't cut us, and we brought them to this world. So we should be responsible for them, right? And lastly, I've spoken about this before. Communicate clearly, especially with very young children. So you can't tell a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old, clear all those things now. You have to be specific. Now pack your toys, put them where you're supposed to put them, right? These are the things that we that we have to, be very, very sure that we're putting into place. And those are the ways we can actually manage the behavior of our children. If you do not have enough connection with your children, if you have not created a peaceful environment for yourself, there's every possibility that you won't get that calmness that you really crave for. In conclusion, you must recognize that your child is human. And when they are constantly beaten or abused, we beat in evil into them. Yes, we beat in evil into them, and they turn around to become evil. That's just the truth. So we need to know that they are humans also. If you're in that place where you constantly yell, you beat them, you abuse them, you are beating evil into them, and they turn around to become whatever it is that you have put into them. So we need to be careful, and we need to know, we need to constantly be in that place where we learn how to manage our children's behavior without being violent, right? This is something that is very, very important. I hope that you have learned one or two things from today's session. If you've learned, share with us in the comment section. What are you taking away from today's session? What will you implement from today's session? I would really, really love to hear from you. Let me use this opportunity to remind you again about the Muslim Parenting Conference. This particular conference, truth be told, I wanted to say uqsum billah, like my students would say, is not something that is easy, especially trying as much as possible to have male separate, female separate. But we have just decided that this is the way we want to give back to the society. We want people to learn about parenting. We want them to know that parenting, intentional parenting, is not something that is, that is new to us. It is a part of our religion, and this is something we all need to embrace. So please, invite your husbands, post it, repost it. Let them even ask you, do you know this person? I don't know, but we're all doing this for the betterment of the ummah. Let them know. When they see that you posted it today, morning, afternoon, night, please, I'm begging you, let us try as much as possible to invite parents to come and benefit from this, from this. It's for 5 days. We have male speakers, we have female speakers. And the truth about it is that we as female, if you want to listen to male speak, inshallah, by the end of the 5 days, we are going to share the replay of the session to the female session so that we can also hear from the men also. And I pray that it's beneficial for us. Let me also use this opportunity to tell you that the first cohort of LLP community is starting in January. Drum rolls. It is starting in January, 1st of January, inshallah, where we're going to be having our induction. And we are going to be there learning, unlearning, relearning for 365 days, inshallah. May Allah, make us a part of this, and may Allah not take our life, soon. right? So if you want to be a part of LLP community, it is just 50,000 naira. And please, if you have registered, try as much as possible to pay up before 1st of January. Once it is 1st of January, registration is good. Even if we have just 2 people, we'll go on with those 2 people. Yes, that's just it. But what we want is implementation that brings transformation to us and to our children. And I pray that Allah makes it easy for us and blesses it for us. Thank you so much for joining me. I can see everyone. I really do appreciate it. When you're coming next time, don't come alone. Make sure you come with someone that will stay in the end of this session, right? This is something that is very, very important. This is the knowledge that we need in our community. And we won't stop bringing it your way, inshallah. Even if we sound like whatever, we'll keep talking about it. We'll keep, bringing the awareness to people, and I hope that it benefits everyone that has listened to me today. Thank you so much. Like I said before, if you have a toddler and one of those things that you're having to deal with is tantrum, I have this free ebook. You can come and get it. It's free of charge. It's free. Come and get it, read it, and start implementing all that you will learn from it. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again next week, Friday, inshallah. And let me tell you, next week Friday is going to be our last session before TMPC. Next week Friday is going to be 19th, and TMPC is going to start from 24th to 28th of December. So until January again, inshallah, after next week, right? So don't come alone. Make sure you come with your friend, to come with another friend, to come with another friend, and let's come together to enjoy, parenting. Thank you so much for joining me, and see you again next week Friday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.